Thank you everyone for attending the presentation. I'm here to talk not really about Goldplay Mining. I want to point your attention to what I see as the unique historic opportunity to pay attention to mining and metals in Europe, which is a country that has not been historically very pro-mining. But given the events in Russia and Ukraine and what's going on globally and Europe's major need of metals, I think Europe deserves a special attention, and Portugal is the country where we have some projects even more so. So if you look at the picture today in Europe, Europe basically not only has a problem with importing most of its oil and gas and from places like Russia, they also import more than 90% of their current resources from various countries, some including Russia, some including countries in South America, and at the same time they sitting on significant mineral endowments within the European Union that are being for most part underexplored. This graph tells you a very interesting picture. It does show that despite the increase in exploration budgets globally since 1990s, there's been very few major discoveries. So you see on the black line, pardon me, the amount of money that we spend on exploration, and the bars at the bottom shows you how many major discovery has been made. So very little. Why does Europe needs to encourage mining? And I can attest to the fact that Portugal, as being a major mining country within the European Union, is actually following that. First of all, look, they have a real problem. They are faced with a big deficit in terms of how much metal they need to use in their industry and how much they are producing within the European Union. So yet at the same time, as I mentioned earlier, they're sitting on major deposits that are underexplored. And I am a European myself. I can tell you that it's not easy to advance mining projects in Europe. There are some countries which are easier, but generally there is a tendency within the European Union to not be supportive of mining. Well, as far as Portugal is concerned, I've witnessed firsthand, and through the work we've done in Portugal, which I'll show you in a second, this is changing. So I truly believe that this is probably a historic opportunity to get involved in advanced projects or exploration projects within the European Union. Portugal, for those that don't know much about it except wine and nice weather and beaches, it's actually been ranked as 5th most attractive mining jurisdiction in the world by Fraser Mining Institute in 2019. The fact that they have a lot of mineral deposits has been well documented. They've been mining going back to the Roman times, yet they only have 2 major mines within the country, and they are sitting on a massive amount of untapped potential that's basically waiting to be put forward. You may be familiar with the famous Iberian pyrite belt. This is where the biggest mines within both Spain and Portugal are located. Basically half of it is within Spain and the other half is in Portugal. The problem with Portugal is it's undercover, so it's been harder and more expensive to discover. But Goldplay actually has just yesterday announced that we have partnered with the state mining enterprise, where Goldplay owns 85% of the consortium and the state mining company owns 15%. And we have applied for a new mining concession within the pyrite belt that's sitting really next to the second largest mine of Portugal. So here we are, a small company like Goldplay, being able to step up and make a partnership with the government. What I mentioned earlier that I truly believe that Portugal is taking mining serious. What they've done in 2021, late last year, they published a new mining law. And as a result of that, the new mining law was published in May. That's me signing in October of last year a large concession agreement with the government. As part of our deal with the government, we ended up getting 3 historic mines. one big open pit copper mine and 2 underground gold mines. And those are projects that have been sitting idle really for the last 30 years. Why? Because, again, the country was not really conducive to mining. So here we are in a situation when Europe needs metal within the European Union. We have projects that produced like 30 years ago, and nothing has been done since. And we have an opportunity to fast forward those projects to a production potential and feed the urgent need of metal within the European Union. And you heard earlier in the panel here that one big problem, especially in North America, is the lack of smelters. Well, the projects actually that we have in Portugal, they are within 150 kilometers of a major smelter in Spain. So not only we have smelters very close by, power and infrastructure is not an issue in Europe. Those are projects that are off-paved roads. You have access to power. You can go to a nice restaurant 20 minutes from the project. People go home every day. So it's really a great place to do business. Goldplay has a big focus in Portugal, but we also have a list of projects in BC. And the reason why we got involved in BC is very simple. We wanted to have a chance for a major discovery, which is basically early stage, high risk. And then we counterbalance that with more brownfields, kind of past producing copper and gold mines in Portugal. So it's by design that we've set up the company the way it is right now. We have projects in the Golden Triangle, and we also have projects in Southwest BC. And for most part, those projects have seen no modern exploration work. There's been bits and pieces done by various people, but really no company has done a proper comprehensive work program. So Goldplay, pending permitting, is set to begin drilling on our flagship project, which is Big Frank, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the presentation. Going a little bit back on Portugal, since we started the discussion, it really was my intention to keep most of the presentation on Portugal because of the timing of us being involved there at the right time, I believe. What we've done, I'll give you an example of one underground copper mine that we own. There is a lot of information, historical information. About 1/3 of the known mineralization has been mined, so it's 2/3 available basically. Very good grades. So we said before we begin investing real dollars in the program and showing a path to a production restart, let's test it. So we've already completed a short 1,000-meter drilling campaign, and we've hit in all holes as expected. The best hit we had, that's about 12 meters of 1.1% copper with a high-grade intercept within that 5.5 meters, 2.2% copper. We've also hit a nice surprise, gold, because this was just a copper mine. One hole hit near surface, 2 meters of almost 5.8 grams gold. So that's great. So really what that entails, that allowed us to come up with the plan. So now we put forward the plan, which is really 3 phases, to move the project from the historical status to resource definition and economic analysis, and hopefully a roadmap to production. And the amount of capital required to complete this program is not significant. We've already completed phase 1 from existing cash. Phase 2 would be roughly under $1 million Canadian, and phase 3, call it $1.5 million Canadian. And the company currently sits on over $2 million cash. Another example of another project we own in Portugal, there's an open pit copper mine. Average grades 1.7% copper on open pit. Well, look at what's average open pit mining rate today. I visit actually a huge mine in Spain, that's Rio Tinto mine, they mining 0.38 copper. And last year they made about 100 million euros in profits, a company called Catalin Mining. So this particular project, it's over 1% copper open pit. So, and again, it's a project that has seen no production since 1986. So I'll leave it at that. We do have a lot of information on our website. We invite you to visit our booth if you have time. And in the interest of time, I don't want to get into... we have a great team. I mean, just a couple of minutes on a great team. the guy that's managing the Portuguese business, it's Jose Mario Branco, and he's the guy that managed the Lundin mining operations for Europe for 7 years. So we got the right people involved. I'm very proud also of the advisory board. Walter Coase, CEO of Skina, is the chair of our advisory committee. Ken Brankin is an ex-Newmont guy. Jorge Ramiro, he's set up Reina Silver, Reina Gold. So we have a combination of great people, great assets, and the brand new listing. We've been training for about a year now, and big goals. So with that, I'll turn it over to my friend Fletch at TDG Gold. Thank you.